What is up, everybody? Jason Berman here. Thought I'd take a little walk. Chilly out. Karma's not feeling the best, so she's not with me. But I figured I would take this time to talk about some of the things I plan on doing videos on. Just today, I've just had a lot going on, waiting on a phone call, other stuff in my life. So not as productive. Did put out a Big Brother video last night, if you haven't seen it, where, you know, Portland, Oregon, it looked a lot like China, okay? And people should definitely go check that video out if they have not seen it, because it is eye-opening. It shows you how far along this Big Brother society really is in this country. Okay, so let's talk about the coup really quick. For those of you that are unaware of what's going on because it's not in the mainstream media, yesterday, 2 former Green Berets were arrested coming into the coast of Venezuela, and they were allegedly not only plotting a coup, plotting to assassinate Maduro. Okay? And if you believe the news reports, they had like 300 untrained men that were going to assist them in this coup attempt. Didn't get very far at all. They get picked up on sea. You can see them getting arrested. The other big news about that is one of these former Green Berets is pictured behind Trump at one of his rallies, and they're saying that this guy did security for Trump. Shouldn't really surprise anybody. Why? Well, as I have been talking about for a very, very long time, they no longer use, and when I say they, the alphabet agencies of the NSA, the FBI, the CIA, MI5, MI6, the Mossad, etc., no longer do the dirty work themselves. There's plenty of think tanks, of private intelligence organizations, and private military groups. And they run the operations. Why? Why do they run those operations? Plausible deniability all day, baby. That's a former Green Beret. That's not an intelligence officer. So I would just say this. I am not directly accusing Trump himself of calling for this failed Bay of Pigs style invasion. And by the way, where's the outrage? You know, the Bay of Pigs was one of the most, publicized and outrageous events in recent American history, something that's still talked about today, and there's almost no press about this in the very, very controlled mainstream Western media. Almost no coverage of it at all. Now, you would be naive to think that Trump wouldn't sign off on something like this. Now, whether or not he knew the intricacies, or whether or not he just signed off on a guy like Pompeo to put something like this together, or somebody like Gina Haspel to put something like this together, that's the real question, right? That's the one that we should be asking ourselves. So I'm going to do a full video. I'm going to show you these guys. That'll either come up today or tomorrow. Really depends on what I feel like doing today, guys, because kind of a rough day, I'm not going to lie. We'll see what goes down. By the way, 36 thumbs up. Let's get them up, guys. Let's double that. So, next subject, viral nurse. Everybody is sending me the video of the nurse that came into New York City from another state who's talking about the problems with ventilators. And she actually says that 100% of her patients in the ICU that have been put on a ventilator, not 80%, not 90%, haven't made it. She says no one's come off a ventilator. That's frightening. That's scary. And I did see the Daily Mail printed her name, put that out there. But anybody who has been watching my stuff should not be surprised by that. Now, the caveat to that is that a lot of you guys are posting it with the headline, these patients aren't dying of COVID-19, they're dying of ventilators, insinuating that they don't have COVID-19 at all. Well, that's where we would be in a disagreement. And really, if you listen to her, she would be in a disagreement. She believes that they're being diagnosed correctly, but just like Cameron Zadal, who is the doctor that tried to blow the whistle and did to some extent successfully blow the whistle on the ventilators She's saying basically the same thing. This is not ARDS. This is not pneumonia. This is something different. This is a disease that won't allow you to breathe, won't allow you to oxygenate or oxygenate. So I would encourage anybody that only watched 2 minutes of that video or just posted it because of the headline to really watch it and understand that that woman is essentially saying the same thing that my nurse source in Queens was saying before it was anywhere. And you can go check out my video. I think it's Nurses Speak the Truth that no one else will say, something like that. But I got train's coming, thumbs it up while it's coming. But a lot of people gave me flack about that or told me my nurse sources weren't real or yada yada yada. If you listen to what she said a similar thing. Now, you know, different hospitals are going to act differently. Some of them are going to use the remdesivir. Some of them are going to use the hydroxychloroquine. One of the things that she pointed out is that they did not seem to care about the minority patients or the poorer patients. And that's horrible. But does that surprise anybody? I mean, does that surprise anybody that's been paying attention at all to the medical industrial complex that we've all been put under? I'll tell you right now. So, you know, I've had this unexpected medical issue kind of pop up. I don't really want to talk about it yet. We'll see what happens with it. But basically, I'm just looking for a test that involves the drawing of blood. And I've looked into several different tests for this thing. And in my area, no one seems to know what the fuck the test is even for, let alone do they do it. When I'm like, how, you know, this isn't like a new thing. It just shows you, you know what you know when you're in the medical industry. You know, I talked to several nurses today, and not one of them knew what I was talking about. And I'm waiting on a call back to see if they can draw blood and send it out to another lab, because I was looking for anything close in upstate New York, and everything was down in Dutchess County or farther. So, you know, guys, a lot of you know I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I'll give you an update when I know more. Hopefully I'm going to get that call back later today, and then we'll see where it goes from there. All right, so big interviews on the horizon. How big? As big as they could possibly get. Are you ready for big interviews? Because I'm ready for big interviews. Tomorrow, we got Cynthia McKinney at 5 p.m. Cynthia McKinney is going to be with me for an hour. For those of you unfamiliar with Cynthia McKinney, she is the former Congresswoman out of Georgia. She's featured in both Loose Change Final Cut and Fabled Enemies, and I really can't wait to sit down and have a long discussion with her about what is going on in this country and really around the world. So Cynthia McKinney on for sure, okay? I may, and we're going to find out today, have Maria Farmer on as well. Finally, the first Epstein victim that went on the record, that went to the FBI, that went to the NYPD, all the way back in 1996. She has to go back in for chemo on Friday. So she wanted to get the interview done before. I haven't really done a full time frame with her. But, I mean, if she's willing to do 2 hours, I'll take her for 2 hours, because her story is so important. So many of the things that she's revealed, the mainstream media refuses to touch. And for me, one of the big things about Maria is that it shows you that the cover-up crew has been in effect for a long time. She went to the NYPD and the FBI in 1996. This isn't new that the FBI isn't good, okay? I know a lot of you guys out there that started learning about the deep state just pre-Trump administration think that the fake news phenomenon is new, or the bad FBI is new. No, it's not new at all. Fake news and the mainstream media industrial complex have been around for a long time. And remember, the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, unfortunately, in many cases, they are set up to protect the true cartels out there. Not the ones you see promoted on HBO shows like The Sopranos, not the ones, that they can easily dismiss as the mafia. No, not those ones. The guys that preside way over that. 92 thumbs up, almost 300 watching. Let's thumbs them up. All right, so those are 2 big interviews. Again, Maria Farmer maybe. The next one, Joe Tippins. Joe and I have been in communication now for the better part of this week, and I think that we're finally going to lock down an interview with Joe sometime next week. And for those of you that don't know who Joe Tippins is a gentleman that was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. He had it throughout his body. He was not given any type of good news or any type of good prognosis. He put himself on a combination of vitamin D, turmeric curcumin, CBD, and a dewormer called fenbenzidol, a dog dewormer. And lo and behold, you can look up fenbenzidol. He's still around, and he beat it. He's got 0 cancer in his body, so his interview is going to be extremely interesting. We're going to go over dosage. We're going to go over the other treatments such as chemo that he did prior that did not work. And hopefully we're going to give some people a little bit of hope, because I know how devastating a cancer diagnosis can be. And my buddy right now, he just lost his beard after doing the 2nd week of chemo. I was talking to him earlier, and when I hear shit like that, it hurts. It's not the greatest. It's not something I really want to delve into, And I know that, cancer has touched almost every life out there at some level. You guys know that. So Joe Tippins, extremely excited to be doing that. There's also some other news on the horizon I figured I'd talk about while I had you guys here. I do want to remind you, I'm fully demonetized on this platform. Apparently, I can't apply for remonetization until tomorrow. We'll see if that's a reality. We'll probably do that live. But, beyond Rockfin, where you're now getting 5 exclusives a week if you're a premium member, and you even get 1 exclusive if you're just following me. Don't have to be a premium member. Every Tuesday at noon, we go live over at Rockfin, so make sure you're tuning in there. We're posting at Mines. That's real too. But what's really exciting to me are 2 separate things. It looks like finally everybody's going to get their wish, and there's going to be a Burmis Brigade website, and we're going to be doing a lot there that other independent media hasn't figured out yet. So I connected with a couple guys yesterday. We had a great conversation, and we're going to continue that conversation this week. And hopefully, what I'm looking to do is get this site up and running by the end of the month at the latest. So that's where you're going to be able to directly find my content. Even if they kick me off of YouTube altogether, we're going to find a way. And I also reached out to the folks over at Iconic, the David Icke subscription-based service. And I talked to his son, Jamie, and hopefully we are going to work it out so that I will be doing 1 exclusive broadcast per week for Iconic behind their paywall. And, I want to do that because, first of all, I'm willing to work with anybody. Doesn't mean I have to agree with David Icke on 100% of everything. I think that's dangerous. I think David thinks that's dangerous. So I got to tell you, I'm excited because, we can bring in more of an audience, hopefully, to this channel, to the videos that I've done, to the documentary films. And look, I've always said, the more people, the better, so we can get more and more perspective. So nothing locked down for Iconic just yet. They were asking me what I wanted to call it or what I planned on doing, and I basically said what I'd like to do is a Burmis breakdown every week exclusively for them, and do something from 20 minutes to an hour. So, if I somehow get a guest that I think would be great for Iconic and I want to do it there exclusively, I can. Or if I can just pick up on some subject matter and let people know what I think there, that would also be good. So, again, we're going to try to kick out a video on Venezuela. We're going to try to kick out a video on the nurse. We're going to push forward. Definitely go check out the GoFundMe. Make sure to follow me on Twitter. Thumbs the video up, subscribe, and share. And guys, love you. See you on the flip side.